To quote the philosopher Pirelli, "Power is nothing without control." With 2 teraflops of FP32 compute power and a gigabyte of GDDR5, AMD's HD 6870 should, by rights, be up there with the R9 270 and GTX 750 Ti as examples of the best bang for your buck in budget gaming. Instead, this card gathers dust on shelves, selling for a fraction of the price of cards released at lower price points just the following year. Does this early 2010s mid-range card deserve to be consigned to the bin? Yes. Like every German-engineered car on the road today, AMD's 6000 series are let down by their drivers. Presumably wanting to focus their efforts on the 7000 series, which continued receiving updates until just recently, AMD stopped official driver support for these cards in 2015. Combine that with a lack of support for the latest APIs, and it's easy to see why gamers gave it a wide berth. Not to be discouraged, especially when it was about the cheapest card I could find that wasn't just a glorified DVI port, I decided to install the most recent compatible beta drivers, those being Crimson 16.2.1, and see if the 6870 could struggle its way through my 2021 test suite. If you're new to the channel, the test bed here is my reasonably priced gaming PC, set up to represent the average gaming rig on the Steam survey, or at least as close to it as I had in my possession at the time I started this channel. So far I've tested cards from the lowly GT705 to the mighty RX 6700 XT in this £300 machine, so check out the playlist for more videos like this one. So, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. More than half of my test suite didn't even boot up. Warzone, Horizon Zero Dawn, Doom Eternal, Forza Horizon 4, Resident Evil 8, Watch Dogs Legion, and Cyberpunk 2077 all refused to start, either due to a lack of API support or for reasons unknown. The medium actually shocked me somewhat by even starting, though navigating through the menu to drop quality settings to minimum was a painful experience in and of itself. The game, alas, turned out to be DOA. On the flip side of that, Rocket League not only works, but works pretty well considering. Running at 1080 and the same high quality preset that I usually test in, it scored an average of just under 60 FPS. Dropping to the quality preset saw that jump up to 82. Elsewhere in the esports category, Apex Legends fails to impress. After dropping to 720 and the lowest settings, indoor sections perform well enough. Stepping outdoors, however, sees the average frame rate drop below 40 and 1% lows into the middle teens. Plus, it's a battle royale at 720p, you can barely see what you're shooting at. Fortnite doesn't fare much better than Apex Legends on the 6870. Using the standard 1080 competitive setting setup I usually run, it managed to keep an average of 44 with lows in the high 20s. For context, my overclocked GT710 managed an average of 48. If you have this card and you want to make it work in Fortnite, I'd suggest performance mode. Valheim seems to be performing pretty well of late, or maybe my expectations have dropped, one or the other. Anyway, the 6870 at 720 low settings managed just short of 30 FPS on average. Unlike Fortnite, this is actually substantially better than the GT710. Genshin Impact's art style does a lot of the heavy lifting in giving this game its visual appeal, but I've proven that even this game can look like ass with the sliders dragged far enough to the left. However, the HD 6870 does remarkably well, even allowing for 1080 medium settings without dropping below 30. Previously, I've mentioned Enlisted suffered from a weirdly glitched out afterburner overlay, and it seems to have gone overboard with the HD 6870. Not only did it vanish off the bottom edge of the screen, but it refused to record benchmark figures, so I have to estimate this result. Playing at 1080 low is somewhere in the mid to high 20s most of the time. Dropping to 720 is something I don't much want to do in Enlisted. As I've mentioned elsewhere, I find visibility crushingly difficult in this game at the best of times. And, well, that's pretty much it. While I'm sure there are plenty of more period-appropriate games that the HD 6870 will still run and perform well in today, most modern titles just aren't going to work on this generation of cards. There are similarly priced models in the 7000 series that will have better compatibility, and only slightly more expensive cards that will offer better performance too. In fact, the Vega 11 graphics on the Ryzen 5 3400G actually scores higher in almost every game, and it runs everything a modern graphics card can. For all of those reasons, I have to give the HD 6870 a hard pass. Thanks for watching, kindly do the usual YouTube things if you feel so inclined, and I'll see you next time.